almost all probate real estate, when I sell it, ends up with something having to move out, whether it be somebody who's in the property and moving out their life, or somebody who's passed and their life's remnants. And so we're excited to have here a lady who knows a lot about not just moving, but also specifically in the senior area and the probate space. And I've seen her on the internet. I'm really excited to get her on our call today. Marty Stevens-Heebner, thank you so much with Clear Home Solutions. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, Bill, it's an honor to be with you. Thank you so much.
And great to have you back from your beautiful hometown of Buffalo.
I grew up in Buffalo. I love Buffalo. I've been in LA for years, but I had to go back to visit friends and a cousin and to see the eclipse, which was amazing.
Only people from Buffalo brag about being from Buffalo. The rest of us.
You know what? They build us rugged there, and it's one of the friendliest places you'll ever go to.
I have a lot of friends, including the rabbi of my synagogue is from Buffalo. So I have a lot of friends from Buffalo. So, okay, well, there you go. So let's talk about trusted senior move managers. There's a lot there. And I thought, just really, you kind of laid out the whole conversation. Let's talk about trusted. There's a lot of people in the space of moving, home movers and estate planning sales and all that stuff. Trusted, what does that mean to you? And why is that the first word on your kind of branding?
Well, because when we go into people's homes and handle everything, and also we're working with older adults, and as we know, and it's awful, that people prey upon them. And so we've actually come in after they brought in somebody else. Like, I remember there's one situation, like their pastor at their church had recommended somebody and they robbed her blind. And then they disappeared and we came in afterwards. So we are bonded, insured. We are nationally accredited. We were actually the first nationally accredited company in our industry in LA County and Ventura County. I'm president of our national organization. We have 1,000 members and we have to live by the ethics code, not have to live, but we live by a code of ethics. It's so important. And I'm so picky about who I will hire. They're background checked. They are employees, not somebody I call in every so often, subcontractor. And it's so important because you're trusting we are trusted with our clients' well-being. We found $50,000 in a bag of old bras once, and of course the client got every single penny, or dollar bill, whatever.
Whoa! $50,000 cash in a bag of old bras. Now that's a place to hide things.
Well, we're hoarding specialists, so it's it just when it's not a hoarding situation, it's a treasure hunt, because especially if people have been there for at least 10 years, more often 30 or more. We discover all these things that they forgot they had, and there are these great stories, and we love to listen and work at the same time. The stories are fascinating. And so it's a treasure hunt. When it's a hoarding situation, there are still treasures in there. It's just, like with an archaeological dig, it takes a little while and you get a little dirty in the meantime. So that's where we found the 50 grand. Yeah.
I tell people, if I gave you $1 billion diamond mine, you're gonna move a lot of dirt to find the diamonds. That's kind of what we deal with sometimes. So
that as a realtor, you walk in and go, okay, what do we got here? Yeah.
I've seen a lot. Now, I will say that I don't use the word hoarder in that. I know there's a medical scientific case, but I also think there's another level that we call that really is just an older person who gets less productive over time and has accumulated more because they're older, and life is more dear to them, so they're hanging on to things. I don't call it hoarding. I'm guilty to some degree of having too much stuff around, and I do try to block out time periodically to get rid of a lot of stuff. It's a lot of work. Physically, it's very demanding. We have a TaskRabbit coming on Sunday in our garage to go through and our goal is to get rid of half of what's in there periodically, but it's hard work to do that. So I think the thing I have to say is when you deal with seniors, I said at 65 years old, when you deal with those older people,
I'm 62.
We've got to be sensitive to the fact that it might not just be some maladjusted psychological defect, but just life is more challenging the older you get.
It is physically, specifically. By the way, I just want to mention the person who's coming to work in your garage, make sure they're insured. And everything. That's why, because we are insured. If something happens in somebody's home, our workers' compensation policy will cover them. It's just not up to the homeowner. Just have to throw that in there. It's why people hire professionals. It's like in realty. It's like, oh, my nephew just got his real estate license. I'm going to have him sell the house instead of going to an experienced professional.
100%.
Like, absolutely. 100%. And well, here's the thing with hoarding. Yes, finally, it is in the DSM-5, which is the Bible, if you will, for psychiatric practices. And it used to be a subset of OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, but now it's its own disorder, because now hoarding disorder is often comorbid. I usually find it's with depression. If you watch the hoarding shows, you will see that there's. We have a friend that
I live that. I don't need to watch my television. No.
My buddy Matt Paxton, he has a great show on PBS called Legacy List. But he was on hoarders for 12 years. Oof. Oh, the stories he tells. Oof. Thank goodness he has a great sense of humor. And he's very brave. But yeah, with hoarding disorder, it can be comorbid with OCD. It can be comorbid with depression. It can just be its own thing. They have what's called, in the trade, we call it clutter blindness. They just can't perceive that the number of objects and often the dirt and things that can go with it, that they're dangerous for them and it's a problem. They just can't perceive. Their brains are built differently. Everybody has a different kind of brain. They process things differently. So it's often fascinating to work with them. And so, yeah, we are hoarding specialists, and we work with anybody, honestly, but our primary focus is on older adults and their families after somebody's passed away, and we have to go clear things out. And we know how to do things from start to finish, and especially in the aftermath of somebody having moved into assisted living or board and care, or, as I mentioned, someone's passed. It's such an emotional process for the kids frequently. And it's going through everything and distributing things, figuring out who's getting what. And that often, as you know, entails attorneys getting involved. Yeah. But we go in, we can inventory things, we pack them up, we make sure they're shipped to the other people. And plus, I mean, our sweet spot is the move management, which really helps you as a realtor kind of move along, because often people are so daunted. And we come in and we just make it so much easier. I have the best staff I've had in 11 years. Wow. And our tagline is where compassion meets know-how. It's about combining respect and efficiency. I mean, my staff, oh my God, I love them so much. My colleagues can work so swiftly. And there are other times where, often with like hoarding situations, or just someone who's old and really afraid of moving into that senior living community, and they've lived there for 30 years. Maybe their spouse has passed away, and we go in there and we keep them safe. We talk to them, we listen to them. There are often tears, as you can imagine, but there's a lot of laughter too. And we go through, we sort, we downsize. It's so much easier when it's not a family member, because family members, as you know all too well, because this happens a lot with real estate, they just butt heads. It's just family. And just knowing how to kind of work with people, trim things down, get it all set to go, schedule the movers, have them take all the care of that. And then we can set it up completely on the other side. It can be turnkey. And it's really amazing when you have someone who's moving to a senior living community and they've been terrified. And they walk in after my colleagues have worked their magic. And it feels like home to them, because I always say, when you're moving, pick your favorite and most useful items. It doesn't have to spark joy, as Marie Kondo. I mean, you may have, like this notebook. Okay, is it my favorite thing? No, but it's really handy, and so there are certain things that, they're not your favorite, but you use them all the time. Right. You take those are the first things to identify to move with you, because you don't want to downsize them.
So I know there's a broad expanse of broad range of cases. What would you say is your most common that you feel like, you do the best in, that you feel like you make the most contribution in, that works for your business? If you were to describe the most common case, what's it look like?
Well, I mentioned senior move management. Honestly, my colleagues who are project managers, they're all very good in anything they do, but each of them, is a little more experienced in maybe doing a home inventory, Or we also do online auctions. We partner with a wonderful company called Max Sold. And that's very effective. So sometimes they've done more auctions. It's just everybody has a kind of their own little sweet spot, but they're incredibly capable people. But yet, Senior Move Management, we're one of the few companies that has a lot of experience doing home inventories. And if sometimes we just get your straight out professional organizing job, easy. We can do that as well. So I always say if it's seniors and or stuff, just call Clear Home Solutions, because if we don't do it, we know somebody who can. After all these years.
Can you give me an idea of a budget or a range of budget for, let's say, in organizing? I have so many customers, who don't keep up, and it is a lot of work, that really need to go through the house and declutter and get rid of things they're going to want to get rid of and all that. Is there a range for pricing that service, or how did you come out and give a consult with a price on the spot, or how does that work?
Yeah, here's the thing. I swear I am not trying to be coy. After 11 years, I can just tell you every situation is different. Also because people perceive what they have differently.
Yes.
And frequently when we have somebody who calls and say, I think I'm a hoarder, we know they're not. Because usually it's just surface clutter. Because people who hoard don't generally self-identify because they're not aware they're doing that.
Correct.
Their collections and things like that. But somebody who says, "Oh, it's so cluttered," may have like a table that has some stuff in it. Other people just don't realize, and sometimes too, people don't realize they've lived there for a long time, and they want to go in their closets or their garage, and they're not aware that maybe, like for example, in a garage, you have a lot of boxes. Well, are they full of big things or small things? That slows things down. So that's why every situation is individual. And so we offer, free consult and estimate so that, ahead of time if you want to work with us.
And then based on your,
if you want to invest in our services. Because, based
on your website, you service LA County, Ventura, San Bernardino, and North Orange County. So it sounds like throughout Southern California. Is the best way to get in touch with you just to call the number on the website or email you? Is that the best way through the website?
That's the best way to do it. Plus, we have a contact form on our website. You can just fill that out as well. But call, email. We're here to take that stress away.
Okay. Well, it's clearhomesolutions.com is the website. On there, you'll see a picture if you look carefully. The first time I saw this, I thought, oh, wow, what a good-looking national spokesperson. I wonder what she pays to hire to have that lady on. No, that's Marty. Just a different look to the side there. But anyhow, just point that out along the way. And then the bottom has a phone number, a contact form, and email. They're also on social media. Again, it's clearhomesolution.com. I'll put the contact.
Also, I'll just toss out there that I also have a podcast like you.
Whoa, that's right. I've seen it.
Yeah, how to move your mom and still be on speaking terms afterwards. It's howtomoveyourmom.com. And I'm actually launching a new venture called Age-Wise Alliance. It's where older adults and their families go to find the answers and answers and trusted professionals. It's Friday. Answers and trusted professionals they need to guide them through their later years. It's coming together beautifully.
Age-Wise Alliance. So there's a contact for that, or that's pay attention to follow.
You can go to agewisealliance.com. This is, I hope you don't mind my mentioning the date. It's April 2024. Right now we're onboarding professionals only. And in a couple of months, we'll be letting users know it's time to come search, you're ready. But you can also, if you want to be on a waiting list, just you can contact us through that website, agewisealliance.com.
And is that designed for what kind of professional attorneys, planners, what kind of people?
Attorney, realtors like yourselves. It was actually it came to my mind about to form this because I realized people don't know senior move management services exist, and there are 73 professions currently listed. There's a glossary of professions, and I'm about to add 5 more. So it's also a place to go educate yourself about what people do. And then there's going to be a way to get a personalized plan for your situation.
Very nice. So we'll put the contact information as well in the description, as well as home to move your mom.com. I'm sorry, how? Boy,
It's okay. How did
your mom come? I was a little freaked out because my mom unfortunately has passed, so she's at Forest Lawn. She's not moving anywhere. But anyhow, for the rest of us, it is important. And I will say that we had some strategy. My mother unfortunately got ill, and we were able to successfully move her into an appropriate facility, and it really did prolong the quality of her life. And I think those things are really important, having been through that business-wise. Not what you want to do, but it is better than the alternative. So.
It really is. And if people, oftentimes with people who are older, like their 80s or 90s, and they're dreading moving to communities or putting it off, I think, for too long, I'll ask them, what were these kinds of communities like for your parents or your grandparents? And they were warehouses. They were awful places. And now they're like resorts.
Yes.
They're very hotels and things. They're communities.
My mom was in one in Brentwood, and it was like nicer than my house. They had like a nice little sitting area. You have coffee all the time and drink. I'm like, we don't have a coffee pot running in my house all day long. This was really nice. So I could have come visitors there, and it's free. I have to pay at Starbucks $5, whatever. I could get a free cup of coffee. Basically, you buy me a free cup of coffee, I'm your best friend. You're gonna have to throw me out of the house.
I'll remember that.
Okay, so good. So again, I appreciate Marty Stevens-Heebner. clearhomessolution.com. We'll put the contact info in the in our description box. Thank you so much for making time for us today. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Bill, it's been an honor. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.